Next up, let's talk about the show values as calculation called percent of parent. And to demonstrate what that means, I'm going to adjust our view a bit, and instead of showing genre as column labels, I'm going to nest it under country as secondary row labels. And we'll continue to show gross revenue. Let's just double check that we're currently showing as percent of column total. So this might be the view that you're looking for, assuming you're looking for insight at the country and genre level. What this allows you to do is say, okay, for the USA as a whole, revenue accounted for 89.4% of the grand total, which again, all the way at the bottom, equates to 100%. Australia only accounted for 0.81%. And then if you drill a level deeper, biography movies produced in the USA accounted for 3.39% of the total. It's important to note that if we add these genre level subtotals up, they equate to 89.4%, which is the USA total, not 100%. But what if we wanted each country to take a value of 100% so that we can split out the relative share of genres specific to each country total? To do that, we need to use a calculation known as percent of parent. So if we right-click and go into our show values as menus, we've got a few options here: percent of parent row, percent of parent column, or percent of parent total. I like to use this third option because it allows me to determine exactly what I want my parent to be. So if you select percent of parent total, it will ask you what your base field is. In other words, which field do you want to set as your parent, or 100%? And in this case, you only have two options: genre or country. Since we're looking at data at the genre level, setting genre as our base field or parent doesn't make a lot of sense because every row will just equate to 100%. If we go back in and set our base field or our parent to country and press OK, now each country or each parent is set to 100%, and now we're able to understand the composition of genres within each of those countries. So now I have to change the way I'm interpreting these numbers a bit and say that comedy films in the US accounted for 21.54% of US revenue, not total revenue as a whole. So this gives you a bit more insight, especially as you get down to the lower volume or lower revenue countries, like the UK for instance. Now you can much more clearly see the distribution or composition of revenues at the genre level because we've set country as our parent. So there you go. That's a quick primer on using percent of parent to change the way you're viewing these percentages.